I aim. Therefore I am. On March 22, 2004, I left my job as a CEO to take a new one promoting my country as a competitive hub for investments. My new boss was His Majesty, King Abdullah, since deceased. Being a young CEO was a piece of cake compared to what I was being asked to do. At the age of 37, I was one of the youngest Saudi leaders appointed with the rank of minister. Despite the fact that I had no government experience, I think the king appointed me as a minister because I had served on several boards of regional and local entities and councils, and because I had been selected by the World Economic Forum as one of the global leaders of tomorrow in 1995, which shone a particular light on me. I was excited to become a minister, as my father had been, but I had not planned for the sudden change in my career. My father helped me understand that it would be a great opportunity to expand my horizons and the ideal position for giving back to my country. Soon after my appointment to the Saudi Arabia General Investment Authority, SAGIA, I met with His Majesty and asked him for guidance. 3 words, King Abdullah said. Nation, faith, patience. Anything that contributes positively to the nation and doesn't conflict with our faith, you are free to work hard on and pursue patiently until it is delivered. For me, these were magic words. This level of empowerment opened the gates of Omnipreneurship, because it basically established that not even the sky would be the limit. There were no boundaries for improvement or progress within the parameters of nation, faith, and patience. I knew that with this kind of freedom, SAGIA could aim wildly high and reach previously unimagined goals. King Abdullah's 3 words of endorsement inspired me. I wanted SAGIA not just to do things differently, but to do big things differently. How could we capitalize on the kingdom's competitive strengths as the global capital of energy and as a major hub between East and West? How could we position Saudi Arabia among the top 10 most competitive investment destinations in the world by 2010? As I mentioned earlier, we called this initiative 10 by 10. When we started in 2005, Saudi Arabia ranked 67 out of 145 countries on the World Bank International Finance Corporation's Ease of Doing Business Index. In just 1 year, by following the 10 golden rules and leveraging the reform momentum, SAGIA raised the country's ranking to 38. By 2007 it had climbed to 23, and in 2008 to 16. In 2009, we were 13th, and finally in 2010, Saudi Arabia was in the 11th spot, and the most competitive nation in the Arab world and Middle East. We didn't quite reach the rank of 10 by the time my second term as governor ended in 2011 and I returned to my life as chairman and CEO of Al Dabaa Group. But we sure came close. 1. I describe what we did to turn things around in Chapter 8. Delight the stakeholder. The rise in rankings led to a corresponding rise in the value of foreign investments. Between 2005 and 2010, some $25 billion worth of annual overseas investment had come into the country, compared to the annual average of $478 million between 1995 and 2004. During this same period, Saudi Arabia's stock of foreign direct investment increased 831%, from $20.5 billion at the end of 2004 to $170 billion in 2010. Which was nearly 40% of its GDP. As a result, Saudi Arabia became one of the biggest recipients of foreign direct investments in the world. 2. With more global companies operating in the country, the Saudi workforce was more exposed to structured work environments, research and development opportunities, and a more global perspective, thus broadening people's horizons. How did SAGIA achieve these numbers? Specifically, we made a solemn public promise to the Saudi people that we would raise the country's rankings. And we took that promise very, very seriously. The pressure to fulfill the lofty declared mission forced the people who worked at the agency to perform at their individual best. As I often told them, if we don't deliver on our meaning for life, we aren't living. The point here is that we applied the first golden rule. I aim, therefore I am.